Alright guys, hope everybody's doing well out there. If you're in the United States, I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. Today I want to take a look at the S2R BATON II. This is a new version of the S2R BATON from Olight here. And if you know the other model, you can see there are some physical differences here. It does have a little bit of a different look. Not just the actual differences, but the overall look is somewhat different. So what does it come with? Well, it comes with the light, obviously. And it comes with an attached blue color pocket clip there. And you got that. And you can see on the lens, maybe you can see on the lens it says 1150 lumens. And what is that, 70 CRI I think it is. Yeah, CRI 70. You got the nice blue bezel like most Olights do. You still got the magnetic charging. You notice, if you know the other model, you notice this is a little bit slimmer. The tail cap doesn't unscrew on this one. On this one, it's the head that unscrews. And I did carry this for about a week at work, and I'm not noticing any dust in the threads. There was two metal shavings, I think, really tiny ones. But it's brand new. It's only been opened a couple of times. So it does come with the Olight branded 18650, 3200 milliamp, I believe it is. So if you get this, make sure you're being careful, because it's not like this with the other Olights I've used, but because you're taking the head off instead of the tail, you actually do need to put button in first, which is the reverse of most of the other Olights that I've used. So that's probably going to screw somebody up. You know, at least one person will screw that up out there. So that's kind of nice. And then pocket clip there is their newer style bi-directional. The button does have a charge indicator on it. You can see that's green there. Turn it off, it goes black. So that gives you a charge indicator, and then if somehow you can't figure out where your button is, then it will help you find it. So the pocket clip, you noticed, can only go there in that direction. There's no other spot for it. So this is both good and bad, I think. You always know where your button is between the light, and the pocket clip can't rotate. So you know if you feel the pocket clip in this way, then the button must be here. So that's handy in that sense. But I don't like it because I got in the habit of rotating my pocket clip to the side a little bit, so that when I put it in my pocket, nothing was touching the button. And it does have a lockout mode. I just don't like to use it. So the lockout mode, just hold the button down. And on this one, it goes out. And when you hit the button, you might not be able to see it on the camera there. When you hit the button, it turns red and then goes out, so you can barely see that on the camera display. You can probably see it pretty well on your phone though. Okay, so what else does it come with? Well, if you don't like the blue pocket clip, it does come with a black pocket clip. It's exactly the same thing, it's just black is all. And the pocket clip, if you're going to take it off, it is on there pretty stiff. Obviously it can be taken off, but it's not real likely to fall off in your pocket there. And it also comes with the of course the Olight lanyard, which seems to be pretty decent. And one thing I do like, even though I don't use the lanyards most of the time on everyday carry lights outside of work, is it comes with this little threader thing. It's not sharp like a needle, but it does just go through the lanyard hole there, so it helps you thread the lanyard through. That's very nice little thing to have in case you do want to do it. And it comes with the little Olight, I don't know, to me it looks like a dice pouch, but it comes with that. It says Olight on both sides. And in the box that I got, I don't know if they're shipping it out with all of these brand new, but the one I got, there was an Olight sticker on it, similar to one that I've seen before. And then it comes with the charger. The charger is a little bit different, and the way that it's different, you can see that it's not branded. You can see that it's not branded Olight on the side. It's a little more of a round profile, and it is a little bit thinner. Okay, but the biggest thing that I noticed was there's your indicator light. So it's got power, and then when you put it on there, it just turns a little bit red. So the biggest difference between these two from the old one is, look at that whole thing lights up green. And then when you're charging, okay, I guess the battery is probably pretty full, that whole thing will turn red when you're charging. So in a dark room, if you're trying to sleep, this is actually pretty bright. If you have problems with you know, some people can't sleep with any light on at all around them. This is going to really bother you. But this one is much less intrusive. Maybe it's more sensitive. Maybe it's a little better at reading voltages too. And the documentation does say that this charger will actually charge your light a little bit faster. I don't know how much faster, but even if it's just, you know, 15-20 minutes, I guess that could on occasion help somebody out there. And so I want to do a comparison between the old one and a new one here. So this newer one is around 1/4 of an inch shorter. Okay, and you notice the tail cap is longer on the old one because that's where the battery goes in, and then the head is a little bit different. That's something I was working on. Don't worry about that. See how I've got the clip rotated here? That's the button. That's what I was talking about. It is a single directional clip, and yet it's a little bit of a longer clip, so I didn't have any problem with either one falling out of my light. For the way I carry, the newer one is going to be somewhat easier to carry. Under 4 inches is really a good size for what I like in a light, because I like to carry, when I'm wearing jeans, I'll carry in that change pocket on the right side that's above the regular jeans pocket there. You'll notice in the bezel, the writing there's no writing on the old one. There is a little bit of difference in the lenses, and the old one wasn't stamped for its CRI, so I don't know if it was intended to allow the new one to render color closer to natural light, but I'll tag a shorter video onto the end of this one. And I was outdoors comparing the beams, and to my naked eye it did look a little bit better with the newer one, but the older one goes a little bit further. It's got more intensity, about 1200 candela more intensity, I think it was, somewhere right around there. So it does reach out a little bit further, but neither one of these is really made to be a long range light. So there's that, and they both do have moonlight mode. So which one would I buy? Well, I bought both of them, obviously, they're right here. If you're starting out with nothing, I would go ahead and go with the newer one. Right now it's $3 cheaper. It supposedly charges a little bit faster, and that charging indicator is nice to have. And it'll probably be slightly easier for some people to carry. So I would go with that. If you already have the old one, unless you're just looking to burn money or you collect Olights or flashlights, I don't really see a reason to buy the new one. But aside from that, either one is a good choice, and I wouldn't complain about being stuck with either one of them. Both of them have good long run times thanks to the 18650 battery. Maybe you prefer the knurling on the newer one. With dry hands it doesn't feel any more grippy to me, but I guess if you had wet hands it would give deeper channels for the water to fill before it got to the surface here. So it could be that it gives you a little bit better grip with wet hands. Alright, so now we're going to go into when I was outside there and I was just by myself with my work vehicle, and you know, one hand for the cell phone and then one hand to try and handle 2 flashlights at the same time. So not that any of my videos is all that smooth and polished, but it's a little bit rough even for me. And we can see easily that this one up here is the 2, because we can see the switch, the light on the switch there. So this is what we're dealing with right now. Pretty black. And so that's the first S2R. That's how that looks. And that's the second one. So to me there is some difference there. It is a little bit clearer with the new one. There's the new one again. A little bit more clarity. And they did mention that it's got the higher CRI, color rendering index, I believe that is. They did mention that. So this is the first generation again. That's your medium, and that's your high. And then on the second generation, there's your medium and your high. So it's kind of a little too much light for so close here. Move it out a little bit. It really does look like it's a little bit clearer to me. A little bit more definition in the camera. Just a little bit. So let's see if I can keep these guys separate. So here's the first generation. And then that's the second generation. Alright. And as far as the lumen difference, there's a 100 lumen difference between the two. Of course, now that I've got both lights and I'm just leaving them on, there's all kinds of cars coming by. So this is the high mode on the first generation. And that's the high mode on the second generation. There you go, the camera picked it up. So there is a little bit of difference in the brightness. So that's the first generation. And that's the second. So first, second. So it doesn't look brighter right there, but oh wait. So the first generation is 100 lumens brighter on the high mode. And there's the second. So it is a little bit dimmer, but as far as, let's see, that's the second. It is a little bit noticeable. Can't say there's nothing there, but it's really not that big of a deal. Alright, so let's check out the turbo modes. So first generation. So for the first generation, there's the high. And there we go, a high. And there's the turbo. And you can see it really does go quite a ways out there for being what it is. And then, so here's the new one here. Where did our bush go? There's our bush. That's high. High. So that's high there. So you can see it's not lit up as bright. But there we go. There's that. And then moving out. Alright, so that's the first generation. And then that's the second generation. So first is on the left, and second is on the right. So you can see on the turbo there is a significant difference in the brightness there. And that seems pretty obvious to me. First is on the left and second is on the right. Yeah, first is on the left, second is on the right. So it's not huge, but there is a difference in the brightness there. Alright, so just so we can see the beam pattern, you see nice wide hot spot. The ground isn't totally level, the beams are actually. So you can see the low modes. So again, the first generation is on the left, and then the right.